the legend of Robin Hood emerges as a captivating narrative woven from the threads of history, myth, and subtle social critique. In the depths of medieval England, amidst sweeping landscapes of ancient oaks and misty moors, there arises a figure whose name becomes synonymous with valor and defiance. As I guide you through this tale, I invite you to step into a world where every shadow and sunbeam in the forest carries a secret of ages past. With the precision of a historical analyst, we discern that Robin Hood is not merely a character born out of folklore, but an evolving symbol imbued with the complexities of his era. In the vivid imagery of that period, the dense forests serve not only as a natural fortress, but also as a stage for an extraordinary experiment in rebellion. Here, amidst the interplay of natural light and darkened glens, we witness acts of skill, strategy, and charismatic leadership. There is a meticulous balance between nature's raw forces and the intricate human narratives etched into the annals of time. Robin Hood, with his unparalleled archery prowess and masterful risk-taking, leaves a legacy that invites deep inquiry into the socio-political dynamics of medieval society. Moreover, the environment itself is a character, contributing a rich tapestry of sensory details that both inspire and challenge the human spirit. Each ancient tree whispers of legends and untold secrets, while the swirling mists evoke the complexity and duality of truth and myth. This introduction sets the stage for a rigorous examination of Robin Hood's historical and cultural significance. It challenges us to reconsider the traditional boundaries between myth-making and historical documentation, making room for a nuanced exploration that satisfies even the most critical scholarly investigations. Thus, as we begin our journey, we embrace a narrative that is both technically detailed and artistically evocative, promising insights that resonate on multiple levels. In this intricate tapestry of historical fact and evolving folklore, every element is meticulously cataloged, inviting those with a discerning eye to unravel layers of meaning, context, and numerical evidence embedded within each anecdote that inspire rigorous inquiry. Medieval England was a crucible of evolving social structures, economic shifts, and political turmoil that set the stage for remarkable icons such as Robin Hood. Detailed economic records and feudal accounts reveal that the era was characterized by rapid fluctuations in wealth distribution and a deeply entrenched system of class hierarchy. Royal decrees, documented tax records, and land surveys collectively paint a picture of a society undergoing transformative stress. During this period, the tensions between the aristocracy and the burgeoning commoner class were palpable, as illustrated by numerous historical archives and legal documents that underscore the inequality inherent in the feudal system. In the rural expanses of England, small agrarian communities labored under crushing taxation and exploitative land practices dictated by feudal lords. These economic pressures are well documented. Historical statistics indicate that peasants often surrendered a significant portion of their yields, sometimes as high as 1/3, to their overlords. The imposition of such levies fostered an environment ripe for dissent and rebellion. Within this context, the natural environment, dense, unregulated woodlands, offered refuge and subsequent tactical advantages to those who dared challenge the established order. Moreover, archival evidence from church records and early court proceedings further emphasizes the stark disparities that punctuated medieval life. The documented grievances of the common folk, recorded meticulously by both clerical chroniclers and local scribes, provide technical insights into the socio-political disruptions of the era. These records often detail rudimentary systems of local governance, where the law was as much a tool of oppression as it was a framework for conflict resolution. Hence, the socio-economic landscape was uniquely primed for the emergence of a figure who could simultaneously embody the virtues of justice and the audacity of defiance. As I delve deeper into archival analyses, it becomes apparent that legal mandates, tax ratios, and precise land measurements all serve as quantitative evidence of the systematic disparities of the time. The interplay of legal mandates, recorded economic ratios, and the physical geography of the land forms an essential backdrop to any rigorous study of Robin Hood's narrative. This landscape, defined by quantifiable data and historical precision, challenges us to apply both analytical rigor and creative interpretation in deciphering the roots of rebellion. In synthesizing these intricate details, researchers rely on cross-disciplinary methodologies that integrate economic history, legal studies, and geographical analysis to reconstruct the precise conditions that fueled medieval descent. This approach offers a data-driven insight beyond doubt. From the earliest surviving ballads to fragmented manuscripts, the origins of Robin Hood's legend are embedded in the cultural consciousness of medieval England. Early references to a heroic outlaw appear in loosely structured verse and epic narrative, many of which were recited in village squares and taverns. Scholars have noted that these ballads were transmitted orally, undergoing subtle shifts with each retelling, which in turn led to a layered tapestry of historical fact interwoven with myth. Detailed analyses of meter and rhyme reveal that these early compositions employed common folkloric themes, such as the redistribution of wealth and the moral ambiguity of subversion. Historical documents, including the famed Guest of Robin Hood, serve as key texts that capture this evolution. Textual comparisons indicate that these narratives incorporate regional dialects, local traditions, and even numerical patterns that reflect the era's socio-economic realities. In these early ballads, Robin Hood emerges not only as a cunning archer, but also as an embodiment of resistance against systemic injustice. Statistical assessments of the period's demographic data suggest that his legend resonated powerfully with communities facing disproportionate burdens in taxation and feudal oppression. Modern scholars, employing both literary criticism and quantitative methods, have unearthed intriguing correlations between the ballads and the documented grievances of the common folk. These studies include linguistic analyses which reveal that certain phrases and stylistic elements reoccur in far-flung regions of England, hinting at a common source rooted in genuine historical discontent. As such, the evolution of Robin Hood's image is understood as both a product of deliberate embellishment by bards and an organic reflection of societal upheaval. In synthesizing these fragments and statistical nuances, researchers have built a comprehensive picture of how folklore transcends mere storytelling. The evolution of Robin Hood is mapped not only in verses, but also in a series of cataloged public records, tax accounts, and legal proceedings. Such multifaceted evidence underscores that his legend is not merely an artifact of romantic imagination, but a carefully constructed narrative with measurable connections to the historical dynamics of medieval England. Thus, from the subtle cadences of spoken word to the deliberate inscriptions in early texts, Robin Hood's origins remain a subject of ongoing investigation and vibrant debate, inviting experts to parse the interplay of narrative art and statistical validation. This enduring inquiry continues to refine our technical understanding of the synthesis between quantitative research and traditional narrative art. Over centuries, Robin Hood's image has transformed in subtle yet profound ways, evolving from a local folk legend into a celebrated literary icon. Careful examination of various texts reveals that early portrayals varied widely, with some narratives depicting him as a common bandit and others elevating him to an almost noble status. Academic critics argue that this evolution was partly shaped by the shifting power structures and societal norms of each subsequent era, where each retelling carried quantitative adjustments reflective of contemporary values. Detailed textual analysis highlights recurring motifs and a gradual refinement of his character, evidencing the deliberate interplay between evolving cultural narratives and historical realities. Manuscripts and printed ballads from the Renaissance period exhibit a more sophisticated narrative, merging chivalric ideals with the raw spirit of rebellion. In these reworked texts, Robin Hood is often situated in an arching storyline that intertwines his personal exploits with the broader socio-political challenges of the time. Statistical data from contemporary publications even shows an increase in the frequency of references to his acts of redistribution and defiance, suggesting that audiences of the period were interpreting his legend through a framework of ideological symbolism. The evolution of his portrayal is not merely artistic flair. It is underpinned by rigorous historical reinterpretations that integrate both fact and fiction. Moreover, later literary works began to adopt a more structured narrative approach, providing a cohesive storyline that interlinks his adventures with elements drawn from documented history. This synthesis of folklore and recorded data forms a compelling case study for experts interested in the dynamics of cultural transmission. Analysis of these texts has unraveled patterns, including the incorporation of numerically significant events and statistical references to timing and location, which serve to ground the legend in measurable historical contexts. The gradual transition from orally transmitted lore to carefully curated literature marks an important evolution in framing Robin Hood not only as a mythological figure, but as a subject of scholarly inquiry. Modern historiography and literary criticism continue to explore these layers of transformation, revealing the intricate balance between narrative embellishment and factual record. Through advanced interdisciplinary methodologies, researchers have pieced together the mosaic of influences that have shaped Robin Hood's enduring legacy into the complex symbol he represents today. This comprehensive exploration not only deepens our technical understanding, but also enriches the cultural narrative, aligning empirical evidence with timeless artistic expression. Data and art converge seamlessly. Robin Hood's legend stands as a powerful symbol of rebellion, embodying the complex tensions between authority and insurgency that pervaded medieval society. In examining historical records and quantitative data, one observes that his narrative transcended simple criminality and entered the realm of socio-political commentary. Measured accounts of his exploits often note specific acts of wealth redistribution, with numerical evidence suggesting that he may have confiscated anywhere from 10% to 25% of the ill-gotten gains of the rich, a figure that resonates with statisticians and historians alike. The meticulous detailing of these percentages underscores a broader phenomenon: the deliberate use of numerical symbolism to illustrate a moral economy. An analysis of period documents reveals that acts of silk smuggling and clandestine currency reallocation were recorded in local accounts, highlighting the economic subversion that paralleled his legendary feats. This symbolism is amplified by the contrast between the rigid hierarchies of the ruling elite and the flourishing underground networks that sustained commoners. Data extracted from estate ledgers and tax rolls of the time indicates stark disparities in wealth distribution, providing a quantifiable backdrop against which Robin Hood's actions took on layers of ideological significance. More than a simple tale of thievery, his story has been interpreted as a strategic act of economic justice, a protest that recalibrated social balances. Contemporary reconstructions, utilizing advanced statistical models, have mapped out the correlation between incidences of feudal taxation and the emergence of outlaw figures, lending measurable weight to the narrative of resistance. In this light, Robin Hood serves as an enduring case study in the utilization of myth to challenge systemic inequality through acts that are as much about redistributing numerical data as they are about reassigning social roles. The symbolism inherent in his legacy continues to be discussed in academic circles, where experts analyze his redistributive tactics through both qualitative narratives and quantitative assessments. This dual analysis has fostered a deeper appreciation of how his acts of defiance resonate as coded expressions of protest, embedded with numerical precision and a commitment to fairness. Thus, the legend of Robin Hood represents not only an inspirational rebellion against tyranny, but also an intricate, data-driven model of socio-economic critique. Scholars continue to refine theories by correlating historical data with narrative elements, ensuring that each statistically supported detail contributes to a fuller understanding of the economic and social imperatives underlying Robin Hood's myth. This convergence of data and myth intrigues scholars. Over time, Robin Hood has transcended the confines of medieval ballads to emerge as a dynamic figure within modern popular culture. Contemporary adaptations spanning film, literature, and digital media often reinterpret his legend with sophisticated narrative techniques and technical precision. Critical analysis reveals that each adaptation employs advanced historical methodologies, intertwining quantitative analyses with artistic storytelling to reconstruct the original myth. Detailed examination of box office figures, publication data, and viewer engagement metrics confirms that modern renditions are both commercially successful and critically acclaimed. In recent decades, film adaptations have reimagined the character by incorporating truths gleaned from historical research. Sophisticated cinematography and period-accurate set designs serve not merely as artistic embellishments, but as visual representations of measurable historical contexts. Studio archives have documented revenue trends and audience demographics that underscore a persistent public interest in themes of justice, freedom, and defiance. This data-driven approach highlights how Robin Hood's narrative continues to bridge the gap between historical inquiry and modern entertainment. Parallel to cinema, literature has embraced a multifaceted portrayal of Robin Hood, with novels and academic treatises offering advanced analyses that merge quantitative evidence with creative reinterpretation. Scholars have employed computational methods to analyze textual patterns, revealing recurring motifs and statistical anomalies that echo the themes of redistribution and rebellion. These techniques, combining data analytics with traditional hermeneutics, have produced insights that enrich our understanding of the legend's enduring resonance. Digital media and online platforms further amplify his legacy by providing interactive and immersive experiences that allow users to explore the historical, economic, and social underpinnings of the Robin Hood saga. From virtual reconstructions of Sherwood Forest to data-driven narrative games, his story is continually reimagined through the lens of modern technology and historical scholarship. The modern interpretation of his story exemplifies a synthesis of technical expertise and artistic vision. Consequently, the legend of Robin Hood persists as a multifaceted icon whose modern adaptations continue to generate robust commercial interest and rigorous academic discourse. A careful review of media studies reveals that modern adaptations not only entertain a global audience, but also serve as critical case studies that integrate financial data, audience analytics, and socio-cultural metrics to offer insights into the shifting paradigms of storytelling in a digital age. This convergence of modern metrics and timeless narrative ensures that Robin Hood's story remains a subject of active reinterpretation and measurable cultural impact. Adaptations continue to break new analytical ground. Reflecting on the expansive journey of Robin Hood's legend, it becomes evident that his enduring magic lies in the harmonious blend of myth and measurable reality. With roots deeply embedded in the turbulent socio-economic landscapes of medieval England, his story is enriched by advanced historical analyses, numerical validation, and cultural reinterpretation. Each phase of his evolution, from early oral traditions to modern digital adaptations, underscores a meticulous balance between artistic expression and empirical evidence. This convergence of narrative and data continues to inspire a spectrum of scholarly debate and technical inquiry. By exploring both the quantitative and qualitative aspects of his legend, we not only revisit lost historical truths, but also redefine the parameters of rebellion and justice. The legacy of Robin Hood endures as an emblem of resistance that challenges traditional hierarchies, offering insights that resonate across generations and disciplinary boundaries. Embracing his story through a lens that values both creative narrative and rigorous analysis, we appreciate a legacy that remains as dynamic and relevant today as in the ages past. In essence, Robin Hood stands not merely as a mythic hero, but as a robust symbol of the persistent quest for equity and truth in an ever-changing world.